Hi everybody, welcome back. Bit of a collection video this week. Seems a while since I've done one of these. Master System, obviously, as you've seen from the title. Got a lot of love for the Master System, a lot of nostalgia. Had one as a child. You know, first console I had after my Specky, and you know, loved it, brilliant. And I've been a Sega fanboy ever since. So this is kind of where it all started for me, in a way, on consoles. Pretty happy with my collection, to be honest. I don't really look out for anything for it now, in particular. I'm happy with what I've got. It's primarily games I had or wanted as a child, and in addition, some which I've sort of picked up and found out about in more recent times. They're all CIB except one or two that I'll show, and I've got some cart onlys. If the opportunity comes along, I will upgrade these cart onlys to a CIB example. But like I say, if it don't happen, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So we'll crack on. Ghouls and Ghosts, surprisingly good on the Master System, actually. A bit more accessible than other versions. Predator 2. Never played much of this, I don't think, but I'm sure it's quite a decent game. Then we've got Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap, Steve's favourite. And then we've got Chase HQ. Not bad for the Master System, really. Dynamite Ducks, Walk Right and Fight. Not amazing, if I'm honest. Rampart, surprisingly decent strategy type game, this. Obviously, it's better on the Mega Drive than the Super Nintendo, but not bad on the Master System. Then we've got Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, which is surprisingly decent. Sonic 1. Oh, not a Sonic fan. Used to love it on the Mega Drive, the first one. But it's a one-trick pony. I can't stand it now. What was this? Oh, New Zealand Story. Arcade classic. This is surprisingly good on the Master System. Road Rash. All-time classic. Bubble Bobble. I remember borrowing this off a kid at school back in the day, which is why I picked this up. It's nothing special in my opinion, Spider-Man. And then the last cart only one I've got, I think I got this as part of a bundle or something. I wouldn't have gone out of my way to buy this, but it's Black Belt. Then we're on to the all the box stuff, and like I said, I'm not going to open all these boxes, it's going to take too long. I've probably got about, I don't know, I've not counted them. I think there's around 70 odd games in total. They're all CIB, I think, except two. So, anyway. RC Grand Prix. I used to love this back in the day. My brother had this. It's kind of a Master System version of RC Pro-Am on the NES. It's not as good, but not bad. I really quite like that game. I think I picked this up for one of the Master System challenges, possibly. Shadow Dancer. Obviously not the Mega Drive version, but reasonable. This one surprised me when I first got it. How amazing the graphics were on it for a 8-bit game. It's really difficult. Scrolling platform game, but there's something about this, I quite like it. That's one of the ones we know manual. Then we've got the sequel to Chase HQ. We've got SCI. You're firing guns from the car rather than crashing into them. I was never so much of a fan of this one, to be honest. And then I had to get, obviously, Battle Outrun. I don't think it's a great game, but I'd got to buy it because it's got the Outrun. license. Much in a similar vein, Outrun Europa. Again, it's alright, it's not a great game, but had to have it because it was Outrun. One I had back in the day, one of the first games I ever bought for my Master System, Rastan. Really good version, I think. Obviously not the arcade version, but cracking game. Again, nostalgia. Had this Secret Commando when he put it on the title screen, and Rambo in America. Would have been so much better if they'd kept the Rambo license, but a nice sort of Commando clone, really good. Amazing classic, Space Harrier. Had this again back in the day, so had to get this back. Really, again, not bad on the Master System. Again, I'm repeating myself here. Gauntlet, another classic arcade game, sort of top-down dungeon crawler. I'm sure you've played Gauntlet. Again, good on the Master System. Another great game, Aladdin. Obviously not as good as the absolutely magnificent Mega Drive version, which is the best. Better than the SNES version in my opinion. It divides opinion, but Mega Drive is king for me. But this is good as well. Another one that's obviously better on the Mega Drive, but again not bad on the Master. Moonwalker, really good game, but excellent on the Mega Drive. Had this back in the day, that's why I bought it. It's a terrible game. I don't think the arcade version is all that to shout about, really. When you get past the sort of helicopter arcade cabinet, I don't think the game's all that brilliant. I think it was a step too far on the Master System, but I had to have it because I had it back in the day. Afterburner, again, I had this back in the day, so I had to get it back in the collection. It's Afterburner, done quite well. This is one I got in more recent times, and we've got Air Rescue, which is kind of like Choplifter, really. And the graphics are better, but I don't think it's a patch on Choplifter. Russ played this, the mighty Retro Bear, not so long back, and it reminded me how annoyingly difficult it was. But it's interesting if you like Choplifter. Then we've got Assault City. Now this is kind of a light gun style shooter without the light gun. This version, anyway. I've not got the light gun version, which is why I bought this. I'd ideally like the light gun one, but it's quite hard to come by and it's not cheap, so that'll do for now. That is one I would like to pick up. In a similar vein, we've got Dead Angle. This is kind of a light gun shooter without a light gun, really. I think this is like set in Prohibition America, 30s, 20s America, yeah. Mobsters, not bad. Another very similar game, a bit like Operation Wolf, and we've got Double Hawk. I do like that kind of, like a gallery shooter, really not too bad. Then we've got, again, very similar again, we've got Rambo 3, but this is a light phaser game. I tried to, aside from Assault City, the light phaser version, I've got all the light phaser games. And this is really good. I had this back in the day. I don't think it was I think I borrowed this off somebody back in the day. But really good game. These are the light phaser games now, actually. Rescue Mission. Again, this is a really good game. I borrowed this off someone back in the day as well. You're like protecting this sort of vehicle that's moving across the train tracks, and you've got to take out all the enemies to protect your vehicle on this hand cart. Really good. Then we've got Space Gun. I I've not played much of this. I can't remember if it's any good or not. But it was just part of the light gun set, so that's why I bought it. And we've got Wanted. This is kind of your Wild West cowboy style shooter. Really good as I remember. I like the theme, kind of, you know, it suits the setting of a light phaser game, I think. Operation Wolf, arcade classic, obviously. It's a damn shame they never put this on the Mega Drive. It could have been so, you know, much closer to the arcade, but nevertheless, it's nice to be able to play it. Again, kind of a Wild West theme. We've got Bank Panic. Much more simplified game, much earlier game. Much more in the style of like Wild Goodman on the NES. But really good. Now, I did own this when I bought my light phaser for mine back in the day, and I love this. Gangster Town. Again, set in like 1920s Prohibition era America. Fantastic. I love this when I got my... It was the first game I bought for my light phaser, I think, aside from the packing one. Still great. Then we've got Laser Ghost. This is the one that's two variants of the boxes, and I've only got one variant. I'm not into collecting variants. I'm not that crazy. I can't remember if this is any good or not, to be honest. I haven't played much of it, like Space Gun. Then I love these style games. Shooting Gallery. Much like kind of Duck Hunt. You know, simplistic light gun game, very early game. And then this was the packing game I originally got with my light phaser. Marksman shooting, trap shooting and safari hunt. Again, absolutely love this. The marksman shooting in particular. I used to love that. Less so safari hunt, which is more like duck hunt. It was always marksman shooting and trap shooting I used to love. So it's great for a blast of nostalgia even today. Right. Then, once I got into shooters, I wanted to get all the shooters on the Master System. And I've got all the ones I want, except the two which are most expensive, Power Strike 1 and 2. Realistically, I'm never going to buy Power Strike 2, it's way too expensive. I couldn't spend that kind of money on it. I would still like Power Strike. Currently around the 70 quid mark, I think. I'm hoping to drop on one at a decent price, but we're all trying to do that, aren't we? I probably never will. So I might buy it one day, I might not. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, because I've got the collection on the Switch, so, you know. Anyway, Xenon 2. Fantastic music, not a great game. Transbot, very simplistic, but not a bad game at all. Really quite good Transbot. Super Space Invaders, really good. Space Invaders on crack, I suppose, really. Then this is excellent on the Master System. Segoya, or Darius 2, and a nice box. So that's a stunner on the Master System. Everybody, or one of most people's favourites. It's not one of mine, I've got to say. R-Type. It's okay for me. I'm not a massive fan, I've got to say. Just don't click with me on anything. It's not this version, it's just on anything you don't click with me. But gotta have it for that shooter set. Line of Fire. I wouldn't say this was absolutely a shooter. It's kind of a slow paced shooter, but I really like this. It's a vertical and you're in a jeep moving up the screen, and I really quite like this. Line of Fire. Then we've got Global Defense, a more simplistic horizontal shooter. And then we've got the fantastic Fantasy Zone 2 and Fantasy Zone 1. And then we've got, this is another great game. I only discovered this through the Master System Challenge. on, you know, what Ollie used to run, 8-bit boy. Astro Warrior, what a great game. I would quite like the standalone version actually, rather than that double pack. So that's a possibility in the future. Arcade smash hits. This has got Centipede, Breakout and Missile Command. 3 fantastic arcade Atari classics. Right, not many to go now. Of course, had to have Outrun 3D. I never realised back in the day that there was a 2D version of the game as well as the 3D one. So, you know, I could have bought this back in the day because I never had the glasses. And you can play it perfectly fine on a normal TV. But it's great to have. I still haven't got the 3D glasses, so I've no intention of buying them. This one, you don't seem to hear many people talk about this, Running Battle. But I think this is really good. Kind of a 2D platform shooter. Really, really good. I don't know, don't seem to get any love, but it's a cracking game. The other one I've got without an instruction manual, Shinobi. This is great on the Master System. I used to borrow this off my mate at school. I borrowed it quite a few times because it's such a good game. Never owned it myself, but a classic. Enduro Racer. Nothing like the arcade, but it's a great game in its own right. It's kind of halfway between Excite Bike on the NES and the arcade version of Enduro Racer. Really, really good. Another one of the shooters, we've got Scramble Spirits. Now this is really good in my opinion. Vertical sort of plane shooter. Top quality. Another great shooter that again I discovered through the Master System Challenge, and we've got Submarine Attack. And this is kind of in the hunt on the Master System basically. Absolutely cracking game. I haven't got a manual for that either, I didn't realise that. Thought it felt light. Another great shooter on the system. We've got Cloud Master. Monkey King, or yeah, it is Monkey King, is what the Japanese name for it, I think. And what's that? No, it's gone. The Japanese. Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, Cloud Master, cracking game. Another shooter, Bomber Raid. This is vertical, I think, from memory. Yeah. Another plane-based shooter. Reasonable as I remember. Not played that for some time. This is another good one. We've got Aerial Assault. Again, reasonably good game, I'd say, if you like your shooters. Another absolute classic, Putt and Putter. Love Crazy Golf. And this is brilliant. I had this on the Game Gear, I think, back in the day. But a great game if you like mini golf. Another one I used to borrow off my mate at school. Had it loads of times off him. Rocky. Oh, it was so good back in the day. You know, I loved the films. Say it was like playing the films. You know, you play because obviously each level's like the different film. Fantastic. Same mate I used to borrow Choplifter off as well. And another absolute classic. I think it's a brilliant version on the Master System. Kind of mix of flying, platformy, shooting type levels. Absolute classic. This is a great game. Again, a very early game. Based on a Sega arcade, Teddy Boy Blues. But this is done really well on the Master System. Fantastic platform game. Absolutely love it. That's Teddy Boy. Then the greatest soccer game ever made was on the Master System. Yes, World Soccer. I don't care what you say. You can stick all the FIFAs in landfill for me. This is the only soccer game worth playing. With the possible exception of sensible, or the first ISS on the N64. Amazing game, and I stand by it to this day. It's still brilliant. The nostalgia is amazing, and the penalty kick competition, awesome. One of the best games on the system for me. Wonder Boy. Absolutely brilliant. Amazing music. Plays great. Looks great. A must-own for the Master System, in my opinion. And then we've got the greatest game on the Master System for me. My absolute favourite. It was the packing game when I bought it back in the day on card. So if you know your Master System, you know what I'm talking about. Yes, it's Hang On. Stunning game. Absolutely love it. Very simplistic. Not much to it, but it's absolutely stunning. And it's still stunning to this day. Obviously, there's a lot of nostalgia involved for me, because at the time it was probably only one or two games I had for the console, so I played it to death. You know, I'd sold all my Spectrum computer, my Spectrum games. You know, probably had a couple hundred games, and all I'd got was a Master System and Hang On. But I just fell in love with it, and it's all of that remain to this day. It's just brilliant. Absolutely love it. In a very similar vein, I did buy this not long after I got my console back in the day. It's very similar to Hang On, but in cars, obviously. World Grand Prix. But I don't think this has aged as well as Hang On. Hang On's still amazing to play. I find this a bit frustrating now, but it's still good. Then Magnificent. You know, the Mega Drive version is stellar, but I was blown away how good this was when I bought it, again for the Master System Challenge. It's fantastic on the Master System. Just down by the second one. That's a turd. I don't know what they were thinking, but this is fantastic. Streets of Rage. Then the last game we got might be a lot of people's best game on the Master System, and I wouldn't argue with them. It is really, really good. And we've got Master of Darkness, which is kind of Castlevania, really. Great game. If you like that style of game, I'm sure you'd like this. It seems to go up in price quite a bit now, this. But it is a great game, and you know, I'm sure it's one you'd want in your collection if you're buying Master System. And that's it, really. Like I say, I'm really happy with the collection I've got. I'm not looking to buy any more unless I can upgrade any of the cart onlys, or if I could ever add Power Strike 1 and 2, or the light phaser version of Assault City. But outside of that, I'm not looking to buy any more. I'm quite content. I'm just focusing on games I actually want in the collection. I'm, you know, I'm not interested in sort of hoarding stuff for hoarding's sake. I just want stuff I'd like to enjoy playing. But let me know what you think. There's some great Master System collectors out there, I know. But I'm content with what I've got. If there's any glaring omissions, just put it down in the comments. If you think there's anything I should be buying. But as I'm aware, that's as much as I'm bothered about, really. But thanks for watching anyway. Hope to see you soon. Sayonara.